Welcome to the Jim Florentine Comedy Metal Midgets podcast on riotcast.com. The song I'm going to play at the end of the podcast is the band Ghost. From the Pinnacle to the Pit is the name of the song. And we're going to get right into it right now. Gary from Florida, Q&A with Gary from Florida. I was just recently down here. Stayed with Gary for a few days and did a nice Q&A with him. So this is the man, the myth, the legend. I did post on, where was it? Maybe Instagram and Twitter or something, a picture of Gary from Florida. So if you look at my Instagram, is just Jim Florentine, and Twitter is Mr. Jim Florentine. You'll see a picture of Gary. Just did it, I think, on Friday. So people are very curious about what he looks like. He's very mysterious. Well, you'll see a picture of the legend. So here he is, and Ghost is afterwards, and we'll see you next week. Fuck it. I'm here with Gary from Florida, and it's the question and answer podcast. People from the podcast sending in questions for Gary. They want to know a lot of shit about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one guy wants to know, I want to know if Gary from Florida eats the shit box.
Oh, definitely, man. Without a doubt. I go right down to it, fella. You know, get a little sniff, then a little lick. I'm good to go.
But you're more of a guy that wants to put it in there, not so much your tongue.
Right, exactly. I'd rather stick the mule in there. But I'll eat a little ass. Not a problem.
How many asses do you think you've eaten over the years?
A good dozen, I would say. Definitely.
Have you ever had any bad ones?
I would have ran like hell, fella, if I would have got one. No, never. Never.
Has there ever been a girl that shooed you away, you tried to do it, and she's like, no, get out of there?
Most of them. I'm not into that, they say. Well, you know, here comes GJ. Megator, the Bone Crusher.
So where is it rank in, where does it rank in, like, stuff you like to do to a woman? Like, what's your favorite thing you like to do sexually? Like, give me the top 5 things.
Me getting done to me or me doing?
You doing.
I like eating box, man. It's unbelievable.
Is that your favorite?
That's my favorite.
That's your favorite thing?
Absolutely. Eating box. Yeah.
And then what?
Well, you know, I like to have, you know, anal sex is definitely top 3. Yeah.
And what do you call it again now?
The rusty wheel hole. You know, you got to get a little bit of rusty wheel hole, fella.
And then where does kissing come in?
That's like 5th or 6th. You know, why kiss? You know, when you're hitting it from behind, man, you're not kissing it. You know.
But do you like a lot of foreplay, like kissing and, you know, like?
No, I'm not into that at all. You know, I'll give her a quick kiss and then I go right to work.
So you don't like to spend time. You don't want to set a mood or anything like that.
Get to the point, man. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna fucking sit there and kiss the girl all night. What am I, fucking 21?
All right. Next question. Where is it?
You gonna say that?
Okay. Now, please tell Gary I recently sold some property and I'm looking for a solid investment. Then ask him if I should buy stocks, bonds, or a liquor store in Florida.
You know what? You should buy some stocks right now because they've been falling for the past 4 months. Stock, real estate. You want to buy a liquor store, man? That's a rough business.
That's it? What kind of stocks? You were bitching about some stocks the other night, you were saying.
Apple, I would buy Apple Computer right now. Gilead Science I would buy. And, you know, if you're looking long-term, those are great companies to hold on to. They're $99 and $96 right now. You know, in a couple of years, they'll be back in the 150s. Yep.
What about last night you were saying it's about some companies that once it hits 15 and then buy them and it's going to go back up?
GoPro I was talking about. It was $75. It's at $17 right now. You know, if you want to take a shot, buy GoPro. And, you know, in a year or two, it might be back up there. they're not going out of business. You know, we're going through a rough time right now in the market.
You think if Trump got elected, the market will be a lot better?
I don't know, man. I think this year we're in for a rough ride, man. I don't even know if Trump's going to get elected. The what?
That's all right. So is it stocks, bonds, or a liquor store?
I would never buy fucking bonds, man, at all. Never. Stocks, real estate, don't buy a liquor store unless you want to work friggin' 15 hours a day.
Yeah, but a lot of guys heard your stories about banging chicks in the cooler and stuff, so maybe they want to do that.
Well, listen, you could do that if that's all they want to do. Buy a liquor store just to bang a broad in a cooler? Come on.
That's why you bought it originally.
Well, yeah. It worked out pretty well, too. Porno stars, the whole works, man.
It's beautiful. All right, here's another question for Gary. Ask him if he's ever had a two-girl threesome and to tell the story.
I never had a two-girl. Never had two girls at one time. So I have no story for that.
Really? Never did?
No. Nope. Never had two at one time.
All right.
Pretty amazing, ain't it? It's a fucking amazing.
Yeah. All right. Or what does he consider his wildest sex story, aside from the porn star and the beer cooler and the mom/daughter?
That was the best one, man.
So what is your wildest one, you think?
Oh, I'd have to think about that.
All right, well.
We'll get back to that.
No, I'll think about it. I mean,
the wildest thing I ever did? Or my...
Yeah, wildest sex story.
Oh, I'd have to say, when I had the liquor store, man, banging a friggin' porno star on $60,000 worth of Hennessy.
Well, he said that one already.
Oh,
besides that one,
that was probably one of the best ones. Absolutely.
But there was other ones with girls that came in the store too. You did shots with them or something like that, right? You went back in the cooler. Or...
Well, we go back in the cooler and hang out and do some shots and stuff. I had sex with somebody in the cooler before, but the best one I thought was the one on top of the Hennessy. I just got a big delivery in and I made it a fucking queen size bed back there. So,
okay, but what about the other one that you had in the cooler? Like, how did that go down? The one that she came in the store?
Actually, she was doing like testings, one of those companies that come in for like 3 hours, and we kept going back to the cooler doing shots of Jaeger, and after 5 or 6 of them, man, one thing led to another. So we wound up having sex in the cooler. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Why were you guys going back in the cooler? Why didn't you just do them in a store?
Yeah, we were going back to the cooler, man, because I had the Red Bull in there and I had the Jaeger. The little shots of Jaeger were in the cooler. That's where I used to keep them cold. Customers like stuff cold, so we'd go back in the cooler. I'd have little cups back there, and she'd get a little break every 15, 20 minutes, and she'd run to the cooler. It was beautiful.
And then how did it start that you started having sex with her?
Oh, we started kissing. I mean, she came to my store like 8 or 9 times. This girl, I can't even.
Okay, so it wasn't the first time.
No, it wasn't the first time. No, she'd come to my store like twice a month, and for like 6 months, she came to my store like twice a month and sold select vodkas, which she did. But she was a wild one, man. She was good.
Did you wear a bag?
Bless you, fella. No, never. She does.
All right, let me see.
What's the next one? Does it say Dear Gary?
No, there's never any Dear Garys. Okay, could you ask Gary his pro moves and techniques to see if a woman is down for anal without completely offending her or pissing her off if she's not? Like, how do you ask for it without pissing them off if she's not down for it?
A girl or a guy?
It's coming from a guy.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man, you just got to fucking work your way in there, Just let your moves take over. Do what you got to do, man.
Well, he's asking, what are your pro moves and techniques to see if a woman's down?
It's just, one thing leads to another. You get the finger going, you roll it around that little rusty wheel hole. If she doesn't push you away, you slip in the mule.
So how long should you use the finger for, and how far do you put it in, and just all that?
You try to go like knuckle deep, fella. You know, maybe a minute or two. You work it. You got to open up that rusty wheel hole, man, because it's tight.
And then what if? So do you ask? You say, "Hey, can I put it in there, my mule?" Or you just kind of just do it?
Sometimes they ask, you know. Sometimes they're like, "I want you to fuck me right up my ass." Bingo.
Really, you've had girls say that to you?
Oh, I want you to fuck me up my ass. Absolutely.
And what do you say?
Beg me for it, you know. I want to hear you beg. I would say 9 out of 10 ask me to stick it in their dumper. Yeah.
And you ask them, you always say beg for it?
Oh, yeah, make them beg for it, man. Come on, I want you to fuck me up the ass.
What do they say?
They say, yeah, I want it now up my ass. You know, everybody's got something different to say.
Why do you want them to beg for it, though?
Fucking gets me turned on, man. You know, it does.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Start with the finger.
Start with the finger. Or your tongue. You know, one or the other.
Has Gary from Florida ever done stand-up comedy?
Never. Nope. That's it.
People think you should.
Why?
Because they love you on here.
Well, I just, you know, that's not my gig, man. It's tough to get up in front of a crowd.
All right. Okay, so he says that I'm on a date. I'm the girl. And you're trying to get in you're trying to get me back. It's the first day we're meeting for drinks. We met online on like Match.com, whatever, one of those sites. And now I'm the girl. Now you're trying to get me home. Like we're having drinks.
We're pumping cocktails in you, right?
Yeah, we're having cocktails. We just met. We met at let's meet at the local bar. Right. Okay, so now you're the guy and I'm the girl. So how do you get her back to her place or your place the first night? Like, what's the dialogue? I'll be the girl.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like, yeah, so, I've been single for a while, and I'm not looking for anything serious.
Yeah, but I'm going to ram my tongue down your throat here in a few minutes.
We just kind of met. I don't know.
That's right. I'm talking about you, Jim.
No, so I'm the girl. So, wow, we just kind of met. That's kind of
you know, you see how the night's going.
No. But let's pretend this is the dialogue. I'm the girl. You're trying to get me back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm single. I just like to have a few drinks and have fun. I'm all about having fun.
Absolutely. Why don't we take this party back to my house or your place? You know, let's have fun. Kiss a little bit. Maybe I'll kiss her. She'll kiss me.
No, but you're talking to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no, I'm just saying. So wait. We've been here for 10 minutes. You already want to go back to your place?
Oh, I thought she was already. You know.
No, we're in the bar. How do you get them back to your place?
It would probably take.
All right, no. Wait, no. I'm the girl.
Yeah.
All right, so just pretend we're on the date, and you're gonna get me. You're gonna try to get me back to your place or hers.
In a fucking spot here.
Come on, it's easy. You're a fucking pro.
What do you say, baby?
No, so I'm saying, hey, it's nice to meet you. Yeah, it's you know.
How's that cocktail going?
It's good. I actually got a little buzz. I had a couple drinks before I got here too.
Want to do a shot? Do a little fucking Jaeger shot right now.
Sometimes if I do shots, I get a little wild.
That's even better. 2 over here, ma'am.
Oh, I haven't done Jaeger in a while. Jaeger makes me crazy.
Whatever kind of,
Jaeger makes me crazy.
4? 4 shots over here, 3 for her, 1 for me. No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'll take care of you, baby.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, getting a little wild. I've been stuck in the house for like the last 6 months. And
listen, after these Jaegers, you can get as wild as you want with me. I'll get you. We can go back to my place or we can go back to your place.
Yeah, but I don't want you to think like I'm a bad girl if I do that. If we go back,
to be a bad girl.
Yeah, but I don't want you to think less of me like that. I'm
like more of you if we go back to your house. I'm going to think less of you if we just hang out here. Hurry up and do those shots. Let's get out of here. Jesus.
Yeah, but
I can't buy you any more. They're fucking $8 a piece. I got a $40 cutoff.
I just don't want you to think like I'm some kind of whore if we go hanging back at your place the first night.
I don't want you to think that of me either. So
Well, it's different for a guy.
And I'm not wearing a bag.
What do you mean a bag? Well, I'm fixed, so I can't get pregnant.
Oh, okay. That's
No, but I just don't want you to think that I'm some kind of slut or a whore. If we just met for drinks and I'm already going back to your place. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I just want to have fun tonight.
okay. We're gonna have a great time. Just drink up, and we'll. I'm not gonna think of you of anything less. So let's have a good time. Let's go back to your place, and let's keep the party going.
All right. Well, you know what? Tell me what's going to happen when we walk in my door at my place, and then I'll let you know if we're going back there. Like, what are your plans? What do you want to do when we get back there?
Oh, we could, we'll just hang out and talk. What do you think we're gonna do?
Well, we can hang out and talk here.
Well, we could fool around a little bit at your place too.
So what would you like to do? Tell me exactly your scenario. And I'm not going to get offended.
I say, let's go back to your place and have anal sex, baby, because I'm the master of it.
That's really not my thing. I haven't had it in about 15 years. I'm not a big fan.
Really? Well, we'll. I'll start.
Look, I don't know.
Start off slow, babe.
The one time I did do it, it wasn't that comfortable for me. But maybe
you just can't ram it in there. You got to work. You got to start off slow, working in there nice, neatly. You got to be a professional.
I just don't know if it's going to be too painful for me or not.
You got lube at home? Do you live by a Walgreens?
Yeah. Yeah, I have lube. I actually have lube, yeah. And I do live by a Walgreens. What a shock.
Yeah, well,
all right, you know what?
Stop there or whatever. We'll get some mints. Who knows?
Look, we're two adults. I understand what's going to happen, what you want to happen, what I want to happen. I'm horny. I want to get laid too. But
let's do it.
You
got any booze at home?
I got plenty of booze. I just want to ask you a question. Like, if we do have fun tonight and whatever, am I ever going to hear from you again? That's the problem.
Are you going to call me?
Yeah, I will exchange numbers. Obviously,
okay.
We already have each other's numbers. But are you going to just blow me off?
We'll give it a go, babe. We'll take that when that day comes. Let's have a good time tonight, and tomorrow's a different day. Give me a call.
If we're already meeting for drinks, and you want to go back to my place, you obviously like me. So I'm just saying, are you ever going to call me again after tonight if we have a good time?
It depends how good you are in bed.
Why does it depend on me? What if you're not good in bed?
And maybe you won't call me then.
Are you worried about that I won't call you?
Once I get that rusty wheel hole, baby, you'll call me.
You think so?
Well, let's take it from there. Let's give it a shot.
Well, I'd like you to stay.
Let's go.
All right, look, I'd like you to stay over because I like to cuddle afterwards. Well, I'll do whatever you want to do. If you want to try it at the rusty wheel hole, whatever that is.
You want to cuddle?
Well, I'd like the man to sleep in my bed with me until the morning at least.
You have 2 bedrooms, or I snore?
No, I only have one, but I don't care if you snore.
Okay. Yeah, we could cuddle. Man, that's brutal.
What? I don't want you to
I love cuddling. We could cuddle. We could wake up early in the morning and watch Oprah too.
No, I'm just saying. I just don't want you to just have sex and then just leave.
Okay.
I like the person to sleep next to me. You can leave in the morning or whatever you got to do if you got to work, but I'd much rather just snuggle with you. Maybe do a little spooning afterwards. That's my thing. I don't know.
I'm fine with that. And then we'll see how it goes afterwards.
What do you mean?
Maybe you might fall right to sleep.
So what happens if I fall asleep? You're just going to leave?
Yeah.
No, but I said I wanted somebody next to me.
Okay. Well, if you fall asleep, I mean, you're not going to know if I'm there or not, so it's a difference.
Well, why are you so anxious to leave? Or don't you like to?
You're the one that you said you were horny, right?
I know, but aren't you? You don't have.
You got a little bit of a buzz. You haven't got laid in 6 months. Let's go. Come on.
Look,
check.
But look, I like a little affection too. I like sex, but I like a little affection too.
Yeah, well, that's going to happen down the road. Let's have a good time tonight, and we'll take it. Tomorrow will be a different day.
I just feel like you're going to have anal sex with me and then never call me again. And you're going to want to leave right afterwards. I'm going to feel like a cheap whore.
Well, there's a good possibility that could happen, so I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, maybe I'm going to, rock your world so good that you're definitely going to call.
Then I might stay.
What would make you call me again? Like, what could I do tonight to make you call me again sexually?
A to M, ass to mouth, back and forth, in and out. Then I'll hang around. Then I'll definitely call you.
Yeah, ass to mouth. Doesn't matter about my personality.
Well, that's second. Let's bring A to M number one, personality second. You know.
All right, let's get out of here.
Let's go.
All right, that's Gary from Florida, the Q&A. What a ridiculous date. If anyone heard that conversation.
They would love it. You kidding me?
If the bartender overheard that conversation, he'd be like,
she gave me her phone number when I was fucking we were leaving. She slipped me her number. She heard it all. It works.
and would you stay over?
No. I can't. I like my own bed.
All right. There you have it.